Good evening, race fans. Welcome to NAGP TV. My name is tonight, video broadcast from Anderstorp in Scandinavia in Sweden. Welcome to GT1 class racing. This is NAGP. We race Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Saturdays is currently in an off pit, but Mondays and Thursday nights are heating up as we passed the midway point in the season. Well, Anderstorp, quite a tricky track. I've been watching the guys lap out there in practice. Looks like Chris Moses and John Sportelli are leading the charge early in practice. Up on screen there, you'll see Chris Moses out there right now. He held the fastest time at about 1:23.5. The Scandinavian track we're at here tonight, it is pretty famous actually. We haven't ran, F1 hasn't run there since 1978, but in 1976, Tyrrell P34, six-wheeled wonder, driven by Jody Scheckter, won the F1 race that year. And then in 1978, another controversial car, the Brabham BT46B, the fan car, driven by Niki Lauda, ran its winning race there and was totally banned after that. They ran a fan that sucked them down to the track and gave them an unfair advantage. The track was actually stopped used by F1 in 1978 after the deaths of Ronnie Peterson and Gunnar Nilsson. That ended F1 there. Currently out there, looks like we might have a damp track. I'm just going to flip over to the leaderboard. And yes, we're showing a damp track out there. And there you go. Chris off into the kitty litter, so it is going to be tricky. Boy, what a heated week we've got going this week. Sort of a continuation, actually. Last Thursday, if you were lucky enough to join us, was one of our most exciting races I have ever been a witness to here at NAGP TV. We watched the top two cars drop out, and we watched a 1-2 with the Koenigseggs, with Mr. Pole taking the win there. So it was quite a stunning turn of events late in the race with some fuel problems on one hand. Boy, oh boy, it was sure something to watch, and I know they're going to be fighting hard again this week. Penalties of late. We've got Andre Cole was the bad boy last Thursday night. He was in two incidents on the first lap, so Andre, you're going to have to sit this one out. No qualifying for you. Who's carrying weight, and is it going to make a difference? Well, these drivers up the top here, it doesn't seem to make any difference to these guys, no matter how much weight they're carrying along. But Andrew Werner is going to be carrying 66 pounds with Andre Perino with 44. David Poole, the winner, he's going to be carrying 88. And Curtis Chandler is going to be running tonight. We're going to definitely feature some of Curtis tonight. He's my co-host up here on Thursday nights. Going to miss him tonight, but we will definitely be favoring him. There you go, Sportelli has set the hot lap so far. Looking at P1 there. Alex White, oh boy. Boy, wonderkin that is. This kid can drive. Monday night put on quite a show. Lost the race on Monday night, but still putting on quite a show here in NAGP in off seasons. David Rowley, P4 currently, and David Poole in the Koenigsegg, P5. Lauren Weisman got that Nissan all wound up, and Lauren's doing real well this year in that car too. Greg Myers. Hey, good on you, Greg. Not enough I can say about this guy. This guy is Mr. Quiet and Smooth. And we're talking about it on the track now, folks. Probably one of the more colorful characters we have around the NAGP, but on the track, this guy drives his line. He drives a quiet race and moves his way up into the points, usually in the top 10. Every night he's on the track. Good on you, Greg. Brad Maris, one half of the Monday night broadcast team. We had a real good tussle here a week or so ago with Brad and Big Al, the two Monday night broadcasters, battling it out. Al won't be battling it out with Brad this week. We because I think we've got substitution in for Big Al. Aaron Parsons out of Australia. Boy, swinging that car around pretty good too. Curtis Chandler. There he is. Go, Kurt, go. Rooting for you tonight there, buddy. Copper Douglas. And Sam Rolfe. Chuck Carter. John Wathen. And Rich Roman. Andrew Werner. Salem Montgomery. Christian Hamilton. Lou Mascarelli. Darrell Russell. That rounds out your races. Participants for tonight. In standings. How are we doing in standings this year? Well, no surprise to see the more familiar names up at the top of the list. We've got the Drivers' Championship. We've got Aaron Parsons with 96, David Pohl with 94, Chris Moses with 89, Rich Roman with 80, Brad Mears with 91, Kevin Savoy with 67, Al Merriman with 46, Andre Prado with 42, and Marty Uren with 38. So, top 5 guys, all still in it. With the way things are happening this year, it's not going to be a surprise. All it takes is one bad race to put one of these guys down and one of these guys up. Actually, Alex White. Yeah, he's going to be racing in the Lister Storm. Just wondering, sorry about that, folks. Team championships. We've got Precision Motor Racing. And that would be Big Al and Chris with 135. 05 Motorsport with 121. TK Broke Damn Bam with 117. And Anger Racing with 113. French Connection at 103. Agency Racing with 96. Elite Motorsport with 67. Amcan Racing with 48. Rolf Sport with 44. And J&J with 39. So, tight. Again, top 4 or 5 teams. Top 4 or 5 drivers. Good indication that this is going to be a heated, contested GT1 category all the way to the end of the season. Let's just take a quick look here at the leaderboard and let's take a look and see what kind of times these guys are putting in. Well, they're a little off their tri-track pace. We can see the track is still damp. Temperatures are fine though, 77 track degrees and 88 or 60 degrees ambient temperature. David Pohl out in front at Koenigsegg. Got some good mechanical grip there. It might lack in a little bit of the aero grip, but great mechanical grip. At 126.613, Sportelli not far behind. Prado, Parsons, Moses, Rally, Uren, Myers, top 10. No big surprises there. A little surprise to see Big Aston Martin, currently in P6. Alex White. And the Lister Storm up to P8. John Sportelli down to P9. John was putting in some real hot times earlier on in the practice, but he's not liking this damn track too much. Let's just sneak in behind John and see if we get a look at that spray. Yeah, it looks like it's still quite damp. May have to stay right on the line to avoid losing some of the grip that they will definitely do when they get offline. But John currently sitting in P11. Let's see how he comes up to the split time. John, right there. Throwing a hot one down. Maybe he's got it hooked up. Let's hang in and see. Right along with John Sportelli. Sorry, John. Broadcaster's first. Put you right off the track on that one. I'm sure he'll come back. He has enough time. He'll come back and throw another one down. Looks like he has the first sector figured out. Laurent Weisman just threw down a hot one. I would imagine that we might be getting some drier track. Laurent driving that Nissan. I'm sure doing a great job this year, too. So a reminder, any of you people want to hook up with us at NAGP, you just get a hold of one of the administrators and let them know your intentions. We're racing Mondays, we're racing Thursdays, and racing Saturdays as well. GT2 on Mondays, GT1 on Thursdays, and currently have Champ Car racing on Saturdays. I would advise that you check the forum boards to find out what time they're racing on Saturday, but currently it looks like it's an afternoon schedule in the mid-off season. Racing around 3 o'clock. Give the Champ Cars a try. Come on out and support the guys here. Another little shout out there I want to put out to. Nope, and Lauren puts it out. Juan Monroy currently sitting in P3. David Pohl, P5. Marty Uren, P6. Brad Maris, P7. Rich Roman. Rich in the Maserati MC12. Rich Roman in the Maserati with 1/2 agency racing. That Maserati is Michelin shod, and Rich is running out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Rich a little bit off the pace, but it might be enough to pick up a spot or two. Let's ride around with Rich. In the first sector split. Anderson P9, Kevin Savoie P10, Solberg 10, 11, Aaron Parsons in P13, John Lothman P14, David Raleigh in P15, Christian Hamilton in P16, and Curtis Chandler. Attaboy Curtis. Let's get a hot one down here. We'll get back at you in a minute when you finish your lap. And it looks like the teammates coming out together. And try and give Curtis show him the line and give him a draft down that big long flight straight. A little bit of a shout out there to Al. Al, I hope you're feeling better after your little bit of repair work you're having done. Mechanics did a good job on you, and hope you get back in real quick. Love to see you out on the track. Hate to see you out of the seat. But let's hope that Curtis can put in a good showing for you tonight and bring home some points for PMR. Curtis Chandler coming around to the start finish. Let's jump on board with Kurt. See how his split time comes along. Oh, and a little off track, but back on. Might not have hurt him too bad. He's about 1 3/4 seconds off the pole pace right now. Not really surprising. Not sure if he's totally used to this car. I'm sure that Chris is helping with the setup, and I'm sure Al would have helped him with the setup as well. So let's see how he finishes up. Currently sitting in P18. And stays in P18, but stays out for another whack at it. And out comes his partner in PMR. There you go, Curtis. Okay, Chris Miller lets him by. Maybe that Chris wants to take a toll off him. B20, Gregory Myers. Not surprised, I'm not concerned to see Greg back down here at P20. No worry at all. Watch this guy. We'll keep our eye on him throughout the race, and he'll just slowly climb his way up into the top 10. Mark my words, that's my prediction. Gup Douglas in P21. Gup Douglas driving the Ferrari 550. Oop. Broadcaster's curse, sorry about that. Lou Mascarelli. Lou has done a mid-season change here. He's driving this Sonda. Pagani Sonda. He's just take a better look at this car. 175. We're getting down to it, folks. We're down to the last couple of minutes of qualifying. Let's see where we sit. Sportelli finally getting the hot one in. Marty Uren down to 124. Now this is decent times. I mean, dry track. In early practice, they were running in the mid 123s. Now we're in the higher 124s for a few of the drivers, and we've got from dry track to damp track, although the temperatures are warming up, so we might be seeing the effects of a little bit of drying track out there, and maybe not as much moisture out there. Just see if we can take a better look from behind. Still got some moisture coming off the back of those cars, so it is still quite wet out there. Well, the dying seconds. Sportelli out in front. Marty in P2. I think these guys are all going to try and put in one last hot lap here as Kevin Savoie coming up to the sector split. Let's see how he's doing. Close. If he can have a good second sector, he might be able to improve on his position. Well, these top three guys are all so close together, it's going to take a near perfect run out here. He can get the power down here, a little wobble there, not going to help his timing. Increased to P2. Good on you, Kevin. Marty. Going to get one final run at it. Up to a split time. Close, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He is going to have a superb second sector. Near perfect. Boy, he sure has got that corner nailed though. And hard off the final. Not enough, but hangs on to P3. Rich Roman in P4. This car looked solid in a couple of the previous races. I think these high-speed big cars could have enough tires for these guys. I don't think there's anything these guys are going to be able to notice that. And we are going over to the next session. There you have it, folks. There's your starting order for tonight. Well, 124s, 125s. Boy, we got three guys that have nailed the 124s down and all real close together. Look at that. 0.752, 0.813, and 0.872. Sportelli, Savoie, and Uren. In the 125s, in P4, we have got an 012 with Roman and an 018 with Moses. Couldn't get much. And an 025 with David Poole. Boy, oh boy. This is going to be some close racing if these guys can match that each other's pace during the race. Andre Prado with 25.246. Weisman at 269. Monroy at 288. Maris at 467. Parsons at 856. Rowley at 910. Myers a 967. You can see how close together they are. We have got, boy oh boy, 6 to 7 cars, 8 cars, 9 cars in the 125 second. That's going to be intense racing tonight. These cars are all closely matched. These drivers are all matched together, though. They're all great drivers. Solberger rounds out the 126, almost flat even. And Kurt Chandler, way to go, Curtis. Hang in there, buddy. Starting in P15. Andrew Werner, Christian Hamilton, John Wath, and Sam Rolfe. Salem Montgomery round out the 26s. Into the 27s, we have got Douglas, Lou Mascarelli, Chuck Carter, Darrell Russell is behind in a 132. Johnny McIntyre hasn't got a time in, and Mark O'Connie didn't get a time in as well. Alex White, no time in either. Don't know what's quite going on there, but we will try to figure that one out. We'll be going into qualifying 2 right now, and there'll just be an opportunity to let anybody join that hasn't currently joined up so far. Sorry about that, folks. Just made a quick change here. And repower my mouse, which seems to be giving me a little bit of trouble. Anybody out there that's watching along, you be sure and chime in, send us a chat message, let us know who you're cheering for. We'll be sure to get them out. Heading into warm-up. Opportunity for the drivers to get out. Check out the final adjustments on your car. There we go. Chris practicing his starts. And you can bet they're going to practice the pit-in entrance as well. So just hang around here and watch the pit entrance. Pit entrance pit cycle is always exciting at any GP here. Some of these guys like Chris Moses, the pit wizard, practiced pretty faithfully on getting in and getting out and making passes in the pits due to having a great pit crew and a great strategy. So when it comes down to these seconds that are separating those driving positions, your pit strategy is very, very important. On board, Chris Moses. Laredo. Underway in the Ferrari 575, practicing his starts there. I think this is something that they picked up from Alex White. Alex White has come on board and thrown out to the drivers a couple of the tips he has for speedy starts. I'm not sure if anybody's adopted that style yet, but it seems like these guys are practicing this more and more. Although I gotta say, you know, the start's not as critical for the cars farther back in the pack. You know, this is just something I'm going to call one man's opinion. At the beginning of the races, especially in Monday night when we got fields upwards of 40 cars, it is almost imperatively critical that the back pack drivers move on the car in front. Trying to jump positions through 40 cars is causing nothing but mayhem in the pack, causing grief to everybody, putting drivers off the track before they even hit the first corner. These drivers that we see out here in the top 10 cars, they've got more open road. Back in the pack, you got to move on the driver in front of you. It is absolutely insane to go off the timer and try and scoot up the middle, scoot along the sides. Nothing good is coming out of this. Mondays have been a bit of a schmozzle, although on Thursday nights here, I gotta say, hats off to you Thursday night drivers. You guys have relatively good, clean starts. So, that's just one man's opinion, and we'll leave it at that. We got a minute left to go. And while I've got this opportunity, I want to ask out there for your money. We need your money. Dig in your pockets, guys. Everybody out here, there's got to be 60 or 65 or 70 of us that enjoy racing on a weekly basis. Some of the drivers 2 and 3 times a week. I want you to dig into your pockets, make a donation, and AGP is run on donations. We are not a profit-making organization. We all do it for the love of racing and motorsport. So dig in, make a small contribution. If everybody does, it makes it real easy, and then we won't have to keep harassing you for your money. But we want more money. Make a donation today. Thanks. Warm up. Just about done. Drivers will be in right now getting their last minute instructions. The grid will be set and we will be ready to go with NAGP GT1 Thursday night racing from Anderstorp in Sweden. Shouldn't be much longer now, folks. We'll get the races underway. There we go. Minutes ago, we've got 100 degrees Fahrenheit, dry, track, 86 degree ambient temperature, perfect race conditions. I'm going to run them down for you. On the pole, John Sportelli. John Sportelli in the McLaren F1 with Michelin shoes. One half of Rolf Sport Racing. John is racing out of Liverpool, New York. Kevin Savoy in P2. Kevin in the Nissan R35. Michelin shot as well. One half of the French Connection racing out of Allardville, New Brunswick. Marty Uren, our resident senior racer in the McLaren F1. Shot with Pirellis. One half of Moram Racing out of California. Chris Moses, our pit wizard, racing in the Lambo with Michelin's. One half of PMR racing out of Toledo, Ohio. David David is in the Koenigsegg on Michelin's one half of 05 Motorsport out of Woodstock, Georgia. Andre Prado in P7. Andre Prado racing out of Colombia in the Ferrari 575. Lauren Weisman. Lawrence racing in the Nissan. P9 is Juan Monroy. P10 Brad Maris. P11 Aaron Parsons. 12 David Rowley. Greg Myers. P13 John Soul. P14 Curtis Broadcast Chandler. And P15 Andrew Warner in 16. Hamilton in 17. Wathen 18. Rolfe, Montgomery, Douglas, Mascarelli, Carter, Russell, McIntyre. We're running out of time. They're on the pole. And they're off. Sportelli off to a great start. Grid looks pretty clean all the way through. Sportelli, Savoie, Newbrand, Roman, Moses, Prado on the outside of Moses, Prado up on the outside of Roman, all to the outside. Moses challenging for it. Looks like we got some trouble in the back there. We've got Parsons, Monroy, Maris, Rowley, Myers, Eisman, Wathen, Salem Montgomery, Yup Douglas, Chuck Carter, Johnny McIntyre, Alex White and Leister, Marco Conti, Lou Mascarelli, Darrell Russell, and Curtis Chandler back in 27th. Not sure what happened here. Back up front, John Sportelli. Savoie in third, and Roman all over him, with Prado all over him. Roman a little bobble there going in, but look at how tight this is, folks. Incredibly close racing. Looks like Moses all over the back of Prado. Parsons having a quick peek on the inside of that. Maybe Juan Monroy behind him. And Brad, look at this retreat going down the track there. Brad Myers on the outside. Brad Myers trying to make the pass on the outside here. Not quite enough. A little bit of contact. Allowed David Rowley to get up on the outside. But on the inside there, we got Lauren Weisman sneaking through on the inside as Rowley took that car a little wide. Brad Maris, Juan Monroy, Aaron Parsons, David Poole. Very close there with Chris Moses. Poole and Moses going at it. Andre Prado up to P5. Rich Roman in fourth. Savoie, Marty and Sportelli out in front. And this trio here may be putting a little bit of gap on the group. John Sportelli has had his bit of bad luck this year with a couple of disconnects. Hopefully he's got things wired in for tonight so he can get himself a finish. Rich Roman trying to hang on to this trio, and Andre Prado on the back of them. They won't want to let these guys get too far out. Roman getting a little wide. Prado closing the gap. Ferrari and Maserati. And out of here, Lambo. Well, as these guys up in front of Greg keep doing it, Greg's just going to climb down slow up and through this pack. John Solberger hanging on to the back of Gregory. Christian Hamilton in P14. Salem Montgomery in P15. John Lawson in 16. Johnny McIntyre in 17. Mark O'Connor in 18. Frozen car there on the track. Chuck Carter in 19. Alex White in 20. Well, let's see how Alex does tonight in the GT1 class. Alex, loser. Broadcaster's curse. Sorry about Alex. Hang on. Lou Mascarelli making the pass there. Douglas, 21. Sam Roth in 22. Alex White back to 23. Curtis Jim back in 24th. Darrell Russell has put it off. He's in P26. Juan Monroy back in P27. Not quite sure what happened to Juan, but I didn't expect to see him back here. And Darrell out cutting the lawn. Up in front, your race leader, John Sportelli. Sportelli, Roman, or Uran, Savoy, Roman, and we got Prado with Chris Moses all over the back of him. And big crash. Chris Moses into the back of, and we've got carnage going on. Brad Maris is involved, Brownlee is involved. Looks like one of the Koenigseggs. David Poole was taken out on that one. Darrell Russell out into the kitty. I think Darrell is stuck out there in Netherland. Wow. Didn't catch all of that, but not pretty. Sportelli, Urin, Savoy, Roman, and Moses. Parsons moves all the way up into 6th after all that carnage back there. David Rowley in 7, Brad Maris at 8, Lauren Weisman at 9, Solberger, Greg Myers up to 11, Hamilton 12, Salem Montgomery at 13, Watson 14, McIntyre, Connie, Chuck Carter, Cup Douglas, Lou Mascarelli, Alex White, looks like that lister might have a few dents in it, Sam Rolfe, Andrew Werner, Curtis Chandler, Juan Monroy, and Prado. Prado is off. It looks like he is stuck. He's actually got the car wedged in beside the tree barriers there. He has beached himself there, folks. There is not a lot he's going to be able to do. I doubt he's going to be able to get the car out. That is going to be super frustrating. On Andre's behalf, he has dropped all the way down to the back of the pack, and I don't think he's going to get that car to move. Good night, Mr. Prado. That's a terrible way and a terrible spot to get yourself stuck. Well, looks like we've got David Poole. Boy, we're losing some of the drivers here tonight. Back out in front, Sportelli. Just going to move over to leaderboard and let's just take a look and see what kind of gaps we got going here. Sportelli's out almost 3 seconds in front of Kevin Savoy, and a second ahead of Marty Uren. Just about 4/100ths back to Roman, and then a couple of seconds back to Moses, and 4 seconds to Parsons, 4 seconds to Rowley. Rowley and Brad Maris. Looks like they've got a bit of a race going on with Weisman. Boy, sorry to see these guys crash out like that. It's not pleasant when that happens. So, we've got David Rowley, Brad Maris, and Lauren Weisman. in the 789, chasing that position down. And Solberger is joining that fray too. 78910. Looks like we're gonna have some good racing here. Greg Myers not too far behind in the P11. Greg's going to want to hang on to this crowd. On board, Brad Harris. Just a shout out there for Brad. Brad's one of our driving instructors. Need some help? Want to drive like this? Give Brad a holler. He gave me a couple of great tips. I forgot the tips you told me about Brad. Helped me immensely. Doesn't show the standings, but it's helped me immensely. Brad Maris. Chasing down David Rowley. Big, long straightaway. And Rowley swooping big time to the right. Big slide from Dave on that corner after the straightaway. His left Brad coming in. Brad having a look on the inside. Brad on the gas hard. Hard. Side by side racing action. Oh, and Brad had to back out on that one. Down on the inside. I think he's got him here. They're having a great draft and taking the inside line. Rowley trying to hang on. Great pass, Brad. Showing a great patience there. And right behind him, Lauren. He's got Rowley in his sights. Saw Brad do it. And Weisman wants by in a bad way as well. Race here scheduled for 62 laps. We'll start keeping our eye open around 30 laps. We'll be seeing the pit cycle come through. Not going to be surprising to see some position changes at pit time as pit mayhem breaks out. Guys diving into the pits too fast and incurring their wrath penalty keepers, or sliding through their pit box and not getting the service. But it's always fun to watch. 7, 8, 9. Oh, Rowley wide, and Weisman goes right on through. And Solberg takes advantage of that too. 2 laps. David Rowley has lost 2 positions. John Solberger in the Ford GT. Real tough last corner there before they start from the straightaway. These guys are trying real hard to get the power down quick and putting a pretty good slide on the cars. Solberger at 9. Weisman 8th. Brad Maris in 7th. Mr. Parsons. Aaron Parsons in the Viper. Damn, racing out of Australia. Working hard to get the power down on the car there. Chris Moses, P5. British Roman, P4. Chasing down Marty. Trying to stay up close on Marty. Switching around this corner track. Grab a draft down that big long and tight up behind him. He's good there. I think he's in now. If he can hang in tight, I think he's going to grab the draft this time around, folks. Stick on your bumper like glue, grab a draft, and try and blow by both these. In my humble opinion, if anybody's going to be able to do it, Chris is. Boy, these guys are great drivers. They can drive super close together without making contact to keep the driving clean. Make some amazing passes. Hats off to you guys. Brake lock up there. Well, let's see if they can do it this time. Chris in the Lambo. He might have it. He might just have it. Boy, oh boy, Rich is not giving up anything there, just holding off right to the end of his braking. This is some intense close driving here. I'm just going to cycle up to the front there. You just see it looks like something up there in P2. Moses, Roman, Savoie, and he is trying to keep that John Sportelli in sight. There is your race leader, P1 John Sportelli. Sorry, John, we haven't been giving you much TV time tonight, but John Sportelli in the McLaren F1. Boy, oh boy, this guy's had some great track times this year, this season. Like I said earlier, he's had a couple of unfortunate incidents, but you let this guy get out in front. He's a great driver. He's going to be watching his XD box, which is our heads-up display, so we can see what the split times are, we can see what our lap times are, and if our opponent is gaining or losing behind us. And you can bet John's going to keep an eye on that, try and stretch that out, and preserve his car. P1, John Sportelli, Savoie. Marty, Rich, Chris, 3, 4, 5. Great battle going on there. Brad Maris, side by side with Lauren Weisman. Front end of Lawrence, there are a little bit of bunching going on there. Easy, boys, easy. Let's get on board with Brad. On board with Brad Maris. Chasing down Lauren Weisman. Solberger in the hunt with this group too, all along with Aaron Parsons. Aaron hanging it right out there. And David Rowley. David has given up that position to Parsons. David must be struggling there. Don't know what his trouble areas with the Ferrari 575. The Pirellis might be hanging on like he wishes they would. But we've got Parsons, Jason Solberger, Jason Maris, Jason Weisman. Parsons, rally. Greg Myers up to P11, being chased by Salem Montgomery. Unfortunately, it sounds like we might have lost another driver. Great run by Salem Montgomery Jr. there in the P12 and the 4GT. Mark McConney up to P13, Christian Hamilton at 14, Alex White making his way up through the pack into P15. John Wathen in 16, Gup Douglas in 17, Andrew Warner in 18, Liquid Lou Mascarelli in 19, Curtis Chandler, a little bit of a contact there, Curtis in 20, chasing down Gup, and Juan Monroy and Sam Rolfe. We got quite the battle going on back here, folks. You know, the racing always isn't at P1, 2, 3. The racing quite often is 22, 21, 20. Curtis Chandler up into P20. Monroy chasing down Curtis. Curtis subbing in tight for Big Al. Monroy down on the inside. Curtis on the outside. Curtis getting run off road. Don't be ashamed of there, Curtis. Sam Rolfe. Sam back in P22. His teammate running well out in front right now. We've got some great racing back here. Let's just go to the leaderboard just for a second and take a quick look. We've got Sportelli out in front by almost 2.5 seconds. In front of Savoie, Marty ran about 8 seconds back of the leader with Roman and Moses, so that battle is still going on. We ran Moses and Roman. Weisman, Maris are still battling out. Adequate Parsons closing the gap. Rowley's falling a little bit back. Maris has got Rowley in his sights now. Salem Montgomery Jr. doing a great job out there in 12th. Connie in 13th. Hamilton in 14th. Hamilton and Alex White going at it toe-to-toe. Then we've got Wathen, Douglas, Warner, and that's it on the lead lap. So our leader has made his way and started to get through some of the lap traffic. Let's just grab up there and take a look. Here he is, race leader, John Sportelli. Savoie really sliding that car around there. Just quickly, I just want to, sorry folks, I just want to jump back and see where we are in laps. We're on lap 16. We got a ways to go yet. Now here's a battle that's been going on since the drop of the hat. For the final podium position, we got Marty, we got Roman, and we got Moses, and they are all over one another. All well-paced, well-matched. This is great racing here. This looks like fun. Look in there. So Moses is trying to grab a draft. They've been trying to draft each other for half a dozen laps now. Three well-matched cars, three well-matched drivers. So and NHET. Bit of a slide there by Chris, trying to get the power down. Roman having a look on the inside. Not enough. Oh, we've got a spun car, and we have got carnage going on. Roman is running to, looks like John Wathen. Puts Roman down to P5. P4, and Chris Moses got out of that one pretty clean. Just going to swing around. I'm thinking his car is pretty clean after that. Just going to go back and take a look. Marty Uberin was all part of that waft and spin there. Doesn't look worse for the wear on that either. And Rich Roman. So, they created a little bit of a havoc there, and that allowed Moses to slip through. And boy, oh boy, I bet you he's glad he's got a little bit of breathing space there. Just see him. Still in sight though. Still a lot of racing to go, folks. Let's just cycle back through and see what is going on. Wiseman back in 6th now. Savoie in 2, and Savoie. Let's just jump over to the leaderboard and take a quick look. Sorry folks, we're only a one-man band tonight. Usually have my buddy up here with me. Kevin Savoie has cut that gap by about 1 second in the last few laps. He is now just under 2 seconds away, 1.7, 1.8 off the lead. So, it looks like Savoie has decided to turn up the heat and give Sportelli a race. Well, Sportelli's not checking out tonight, folks. Weissman's done a great job with his Nissan. Looks like we lost another driver. Trying to figure out who it was. Nice second through the back. Chris Moses on podium P3. Marty P4. Roman and Marty. I'm not surprised these guys are going to be battling it over all night long. Weissman on podium P6. Brad Maris. Not far off him. And John Solberger. 6, 7, 8. Weissman, Maris, Solberger. And Carson sneaking up. P9. Got him in sight. Big power Viper. David Rowley. P10. Greg Myers up to P11. Mark Connie at P12, not far behind. But he's got Alex White up to P13. Alex White in the Lister Storm. Chased down by Salem Montgomery Jr. Good on you, Salem. Really looking good this year. Got Douglas in P16. giving Gup a rear view mirror full of Koenigsegg. With Juan Monroy joining the battle here. Three-way battle. And this is where the Koenigsegg usually closes up on Gup. Let's see if he can do it this time around as they head off down the flight straight. 16, 17, 18. Koenigsegg. Just not close enough to do it, and Gup is driving one heck of a race right now, folks. Like I said earlier, it's not all about driving for 1, 2, 3. It's about driving and racing with the guys around you. Gup, wide, wide, wide. Gup puts a big slide on. Probably saw that driver coming on the inside. I think it was John Wathen. Oh, and more contact there. Wathen right off the side. Boy, Gup won't be happy with that, but hey, that's racing. Curtis Chandler, soldiering on in P19. Go, Kurt, go. Lou Mascarelli in P20. Chuck Carter in, well, it looks like we just lost a driver. Chuck Carter now in P20. John Wathen in P21. I've seen John has been struggling tonight on the track. There's your race leader, John Sportelli. Oh boy, folks, it sure is looking dark. Let's just pop over the leader. There you have it. It is going to get really interesting. We are going to get some rain. The track is dry. We got 89. The temperatures are dropping. Ambient temperature 73. The conditions are cloudy, calling for rain, and the forecast is for rain. So get set. We are going to have a very interesting second half of this race. Just while we're here, let's just go up and take a look. We're running lap 23. We're scheduled for 62, so we got about 7 more laps, and we're going to start seeing the drivers come in unless the rain comes. And what's the rain? It is raining. We're going to stay on board with the leaders and see what it looks like. We've got rain out there. This is going to change everything. On board with John Sportelli. Track conditions have changed. We are in the rain. Don't know how long these guys are going to be able to stay out on their slicks, how long the track's going to keep its grip there. But John is now coming up with some lap traffic, and this might force his hand, and he may decide to go in or hold off and see how conditions are going to hang in. Looks like we've got Wathen into the pits. But Sportelli has stayed out. Savoy stayed out. Moses is staying out. Roman has stayed out, but it looks like we've got a spun car there in the middle of the track. Looks like most of the drivers are staying out, but this is going to get very tricky. It looked like that was Raleigh that spun his car. Greg Myers in the P11, Alex White in 12, Connie in 13, Salem Montgomery in 14, and 15. Monroy in 16, Gup Douglas back to 17 after the unfortunate incident we had. Curtis Chandler back to 18. Lou Mascarelli in 19. Oh, that might have been Chuck Carter that spun that in 20. And Wathen just leaving the pits in P21. We obviously got a tire change there. Let's see. Sportelli coming in. Let's stick with Sportelli. We're definitely going to get into some wet track now. And he is sliding that car around pretty good. elected to stay out. We've got some other cars in the pits now. Parsons all over the back of Solberger. Greg Myers up to P10. Rally in the pits. Alex White in the pits. Connie in the pits, off to Jackson rolling. Salem Montgomery Jr. in the pits. Off to Jackson rolling. Lou Mascarelli in the pits. Chuck Carter in the pits. Wathen back out. Hard to tell how wet this track is. If they're out on hard wets or if they came out on inners. Tire selection here is going to be critical. John Sportelli still out on track. Probably going to try and nurse this one around to his pit window. This could be, and Sportelli's in. Savoie is in. And we can bet that maybe Chris Moses will head in as well. Chris stays out. Chris is staying out. There is your current race leader. Chris Moses is taking over the lead, but he hasn't pitted yet. Sounds like we lost another driver. Looks like we may be getting down to attrition. Pit lane is filling up. Telly's hasn't moved. He's got the engine running, and he's away. And he's out in front of Savoie. So Sportelli did it. He got out in front of Savoie. And we'll see how this shakes out. Now, Chris should be coming around for his pit stop, if he is going to pit. Parsons in third, Roman, and Moses. Moses in first. Moses hasn't pitted yet, and would appear that he may be struggling a little bit. Is Moses coming in? Moses is staying out. I'm not sure what strategy Moses has. Chris has. He's a smarter driver than I'll ever be, so he obviously has a plan in mind. We'll have to wait to see how this all shakes out in his master plan. Chris Moses, P1. Rich Roman, currently in P2. Aaron Parsons, P3. And Sportelli in P4. Gonna have to keep an eye on these characters up here. We'll just hang in here with Chris Moses and see if he's gonna come along and take his pit stop. This is NAGP GT1 Racing. Thursday night, Anderstorp, Sweden. Chris's lap times are not going to be the greatest. We've seen all sorts of drivers coming around past Chris. Chris Moses into the pits. Chris is staying out. Okay, we've got Rich Roman in P2. Aaron Parsons in P3. John Sportelli. Kevin Savoie. Juan Monroy. Lauren Weisman. Alex White up into P8. Brad Marison, P9. You can see the spray off these cars, folks. It's getting really wet out there. And clouds do not look favorable. I think we're in for a wet finale of the race. Brad, a little bit of a drift around the corner there. A little wide over up the apex. David Rowley up to P10. Greg Myers, P11. Sport Solberger in P12. And Marty in P13 with Mark O'Connie. Geez, we've watched this guy run some good wet races as well. As he said before, soft on the pedal, soft on both the pedals, easy on the steering. In tight there. Let's jump on board Mark O'Connie. Curtis Chandler in P15, Cup Douglas in 16, Lou Mascarelli in 17, and Warner in 18. Chasing down Liquid Lou. Oh, we've got a spun car there. Chris Moses still hanging on to his P1. Mr. Parsons into P2. Roman in the pits. Parsons into P1. And that's going to drop Chris back down. Who's into P4. Off to Jackson, and away he goes. Coming out in P5. Don't know if he's going to be able to hold this position. Lauren Weisman coming around. Chris coming out onto the straight. Weisman coming around to the straight. And Chris hanging on to his P5. Juan Monroy in P4. Savoie in third. Sportelli in second. Parsons in first place. But I don't think Aaron has taken his pit stop yet. And driving some magic up there. Parsons is. Savoie and Sportelli. 2-3. This is probably going to change after the rotation though. Boy, oh boy, that Kevin is really pushing hard, and he is sliding that car all over the place. One false move, and that can give Sportelli some breathing room that he would more than welcome at this stage of the game. It has been a dogfight between these two for most of the race. Hey, Daryl. Good to see you up there on the broadcast. Tough luck tonight. Sorry to see you're out of the race. Could have used you out there on the track, but the conditions sure changed up a bit, and it looks like they're into some wet. Still quite a bit of moisture coming off that track. Another spun car there. Looks like John Wathen. We got by all right. Sportelli in second. Parsons in first. Off to the side. It's probably in Warner. Parsons sliding that car all over the place. Is this it? This is it. Parsons is in. See where he comes out, but it looks like we've got quite a bit of traffic in the pits there. Looks like we got Curtis Chandler in and out. We've got both of the Vipers. We've got Parsons and we've got Greg Myers in. Savoie back in the pits. Uh-oh. This is not looking good. Chris Moses goes by, take third spot. Juan Monroy up in first. Chris Moses in second. Parsons away in third. Roman in fourth. What happened to Sportelli? Do not tell me. I'm just going to flip over the leaderboard. I cannot believe it. If we've lost Sportelli, I'm just going to... We have lost John Sportelli. No, John Sportelli is down in 11th. I'm not sure what quite happened there. Must have had a major off. Looks like tires are playing a big part in this race tonight. Track drying up, quite possibly. showing a damp track. 84 degrees, 78 degrees Fahrenheit ambient. Showing rainy conditions, but only jumping. We have got Sportelli 54 seconds off the lead now. Monroy out in first, Moses in second. That Parsons and Maris and Roman in the thick of it there. Not quite sure what's happened here with Sportelli, but not a great turn of events. John going into some sort of traffic. I think that's Mark McConney. And John going by on the inside. Good job, Mark. We've got Lou Mascarelli off into the grass there. Kevin Savoy into P6. Brad Maris in the pits. Definitely, guys, we're having some tire issues out there tonight. Sure would be interesting to talk to the drivers and see what's going on there tonight. Savoy up to P5. Parsons in P4. Roman in P3. Chris Moses up to P2. And Juan Monroy in the Ford GT up to P1. Well, this is pretty interesting. We've got Chris Moses stayed out way late. Looks like he made the right call. Waited it out. And there's Monroy in for tires as well. Chris Moses into P2. Now he's taking over the lead. So Chris is taking the lead in P1. I think tire strategy is going to be the big one here tonight. The big winner so far. It looks like Chris Moses has made pit wizardry out of this race and pulled another one out of his magic hat. Is now running in P1 in the Lambo. Looks rock solid out there to me. Let's just jump back to the leaderboard again. Chris Moses down with a 19-second lead. Aaron Parsons not too far behind, 2 seconds behind. Now here's two guys here that really know what they're doing out there as far as track strategy, tire strategy, pit strategy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And right now Moses got like a 46-second lead over Sportelli, who's now into 5th. But good on you, Chris. Unbelievable turn of events. And we're going to turn this one and see how she finishes up. Chris Moses, P1. Roman, P2. Parsons all over the back of Roman for P3. Yeah, we know it. Parsons is on fresh tires. I'm out there long enough to see if the track is drying, and I do believe it is. There you go. Roman went wide. Parsons, P2. Roman, P3. Savoy in 4th. Sportelli up to 5th, and that guy is on a mission. We'll keep our eyes on him. We know he has great pace on the tri-track. Mark O'Connor in P6, pitting. Lauren Weisman, P7. Alex White up to P8. Boy, this kid can't drive. Brad Maris in P9. Rally in 10th. Gregory Myers, P11. Like I told you, top 10. Mr. Quiet. Really jumping. Driving. Juan Monroy into P12. Solberger into P13. There's a pair of teammates right there. Monroy, Solberger, 12-13. Marty Uren, P14. Curtis Chandler in the points. Attaboy, Kurt Baby. Right home is for Big Al. Gup Douglas in the points at 16. Lou Mascarelli, who won off in 17. Andrew Werner in 18. Chuck Carter in 19. John Wathen back in 20. And that's your field. There it is, Chris Moses coming up to some lap traffic. On board, Chris Moses. Moses, P1. Aaron Parsons, P2. Kevin Savoy, P3. John Sportelli, P4. Still we can see offline, you know, out of the groove. Definitely got some pressure out there. That's the biggest thing. We're trying to get these passes completed as you get off line into slippery areas of the track. On board, John Sportelli. At P5, as Alex White has moved up to P6, all over the back of him. And let's go on board with Alex White as he chases down the Nissan. Looks like Alex has got a handle on this Lister, and he is all over the back of this Nissan, looking for a way through. Having a look on the inside. Slide by White there. Some great action here, folks. I think one half of the range of action might have just given himself just a little bit of breathing room. P7, Brad Harris. Rich Roman, P8. Gregory Myers up to P9. surprise, Greg. Juan Monroy in P10, chasing down Greg. Solberger, P11. Marty Uren and back in P12. David Rowley into P13. Mark O'Connie, P14. Curtis Chandler, P15. Douglas in the points at P16. And Lou Mascarelli, 1 out of the points at P17. Chuck Carter at P18. Warner 19. And John Watson at 20. There's your leader. And look who is in the hunt at this point. Fight with 2 of our oldest NAGP rivals, Chris Moses and Aaron Parsons. No surprise here. I think Chris Moses went off as the odds-on favorite tonight. If you were part of our fantasy pool. Let's just slide up the leaderboard and see how it's all playing out. Chris Moses on P1. Aaron Parsons in P2. Sportelli in P3. Savoie, Wiseman, 4-5. Alex White, Brad Mears, 6-7. Solberger, Marty Uren, David Rowley, Mark O'Connie, Curtis Chandler, Douglas. All those make up the top 16. All points getters. Mascarelli and make up the balance of the group. We've got 20 drivers left out on the track. We are in lap 42. We were about 3/4 of the way through the race. Got a comfortable margin there between himself and Mr. Parsons, but you can bet Mr. Parsons is going to be pushing hard trying to close that gap. John Sportelli up to P3 and Kevin Savoie in P4. Warren Weisman up to P5. Now this is going to be great for them. We've got the French connection in the Nissan R35 running 4-5, and this is really going to help out their team points. They're currently in 5th place, but a 4-5 is really going to help these guys out. So if they can keep this order up, this is really going to help them out. Alex White up to P6. And Alex has his sights set on Weisman as well, as they both turn on to the start-finish straight away. Brad Maris in P7. Brad not too far off that P6. Down on the inside of Mark O'Connie. And Yes, thank you very much. He's in. And away he goes. And up behind Liquid Lou Mascarelli. Probably do his best to get the room to slide on by. Set on Alex White, but Alex White all over the back of Weisman, and you can still see that spray coming up, so it is still slippery on that back straightaway there. Heavy braking here as they both working hard to get the power down. Laps of this, and they're still going. Nose to tail for positions all the way through the grid. It's a great race we got going on here. Alex White, Lauren Weisman. Anderstorp, Nissan R35. The blisters on Pirellis. And the Nissan is on Michelin's. Looks like we've got the driver Watson maybe coming out of the pits. And I'll flash the lights. Weisman to say, let us through. I've got this Alex White all over my tailpipe. On board, Alex White. Way to go, John. The clouds look like they might break it up a little bit, not as gray as it was before. Cycle through the pack. P7, Brad Mears. Big slide by Brad, but Brad has these Weisman and White in his sights and would just love to take P6 away from one of these guys and maybe even P5. Rich Roman in P8. Juan Monroy in P9. Gregory Myers off the track. Now in the P10. Ooh, hang on to her, Greg. Whoa. Gotta get the power down there. Watch out. That was his teammate who just put off. Chris Moses in P1. Aaron Parsons P2, Sportelli in 3, Savoy in 4, Weisman in 5, and that battle continues with Weisman and White, and Brad Maris. He's probably hoping they'll get into a bit of a tussle and allow him to quietly creep up behind. Rich Roman in 8. Juan Monroy in 9. Solberger in 10. Marty Uren in 11. Greg Myers in 12. Oh boy, Greg was up in the P9 there and had it go off. Let's put him behind. Marco Conti in 13. Curtis Chandler in 14. Go Kurt. And we got Rally. Rally has put the car in the wall. He has high-sided the car on the curb, lost his front clip. It looks like he may be done for the night. An unfortunate incident for David Rally. Lou Mascarelli in 17. Andrew Werner chasing down Lou for that 17 spot. Let's just hang in here as we watch Werner chase down Mascarelli. And away he goes on the inside, and it's the old over-under. And Mascarelli pulls it out. Let's grab Werner. Have a look on the inside again. And Matt goes around Mascarelli. It looks like we had Watson off to the side. Boys, a great action there, folks, back in the back. 17 and 18. We've got a driver diving into the pits there. Hanging it out wide. Chuck Carter just barely gets his car stopped and he gets sideways. Oh, and pushes him off the track. He was knocking Watson off. Now, guys, there is some sportsmanship going on there. Oh. We have got carnage going all over the place. Boy, we got cars all over. Okay, Moses 1, Parsons 2, Sportelli 3, Savoie, Lauren Weisman, and Alex White on the outside. Boy, they are running nose to tail. Let's get on board with Alex White. These guys have been doing it for a while now. Definitely looks like the track is dried up. Whoa, and White has gone right by. Lauren Weisman is frozen. Boy, I don't know what's going on tonight, folks. Okay, this is getting hard to follow here. We got Moses out in front. Aaron Parsons in P2. Sportelli in 3. Savoie in 4th. Weisman in 5th. Alex White in 6th. Brad Maris in 7. Roman in 8. Monroy in 9. Solberger 10. Keep things close. Marty Uren in 11. Gregory Myers in 12. Marco Conti in 13. Curtis Chandler up to 14. Got Douglas in 15. Andrew Werner in 16. Lou Mascarelli in 17. David Rally in 18. Looked like he's got his car fixed up. Chuck Carter in 19. And John Watson in 20th. But there has been some hijinks going on out there. Okay. There's your race leader. I'm just going to slide over to the report. Take a look and see. Moses out in front by almost 30 seconds with Sportelli, 13 seconds behind him. 10 seconds to Savoie. 6 back to teammate Weisman, and less than a second between him and Alex White. That's been a battle that's going on for quite a while now. Brad Maris and Rich Roman within a half a second. Then we've got the J&Js. Juan and John. Envoy Silver running 9-10. Marty Uran in 11th. Greg Myers in 12th. All the way down to John Wathen, who is struggling out there tonight. Down 4 laps. But you hang in there, John. Great to see these guys finish up. Sorry, we're going to pop back just for a second. We're currently running lap 51 of the scheduled 62. Got about 10 laps left. Aaron Parsons in 2, Sportelli in 3, Savoie in 4th, and this is the battle right now. The battle for 5th place, Lauren Weisman and Alex White. Pace. Doesn't quite look like either one of these drivers has an advantage anywhere on the track at this point. Little flash of the lights. Alex White on the inside. Alex White's got, side by side, a little bit of bump in there. Alex White is taking P5 away from Weisman. And boy, that Lister Storm, let's take a better look at that. Car doesn't look too bad. Up into lap traffic. Blue flag. Well done. Cars got through relatively unscathed. And I don't think it cost either one of those drivers anything. The tables are turned now. Weisman all over the back of White. Looks like Lauren's got some damage. Right side of his car. Other than that, doesn't seem to be affecting too much at all. White, Weisman, 5-6. Weisman all up over the back. Going in heavy, trying to pick up a little bit of, take up some of the gap there on some late braking. out of Wiseman. Still got a bit of time though. Probably got about half a dozen, 7 laps to go. Let's move way back up to the front. We've got Savoie up in P4. Sportelli in P3. Parsons in P2. And Chris Moses in P1. John Wathen. Be a little off-track adventure there. Aaron Parsons in P2. Sportelli in 3. Savoie 4. Alex White in that P5. Hard fought for him. Aaron Wiseman P6. Brad Maris in P7. Rich Roman not too far behind in P8. Juan Monroy in P9. And his teammate John Solberger in P10. Great finish for these guys. 9-10. 2 cars in the top 10. Marty Uren in P11. Greg Myers in P12. Geez, Greg had that one-off. Very uncharacteristic. I don't know what happened. He was self-inflicted or if he ran into a little bit of trouble there with another car, but that cost him 3 positions. Marco Conti up into P13. Good run for Marco tonight. Should take a look at, oh, not surprising. You know, that it would look like that we had a little bit of damage there on Marco's car. Curtis Chandler up into P14. Curtis, one half of the broadcast team here on Thursday nights, filling in for Big Al Merriman. Here, he's going to grab you a couple of points. Gup Douglas, not far behind. Chasing down Curtis Chandler. Oh, Gup in the points at P15. Andrew Werner in P16. Lou Mascarelli, 1 out of the points at P17. And David Pohl. David has slipped back to P18, had his troubles tonight. He's running a lot higher earlier on. Chuck Carter in P19. And John Wathen rounds out the pack at P20. Way to go, John. Here's your race leader, Chris Moses. Got a comfortable 27-second lead over Parsons and John Sportelli. 10 seconds away from Parsons. See if they can Moses. We're running lap 56. We are running out of laps. We got about 6 laps left. And boy, Sportelli's going to have to close up by well over a lap a second to be able to do that. Sportelli, Parsons running in the 26s. Sportelli running in 25s. Folks, we could be in for a dogfight here. Sportelli could close this gap up. Currently running P3. We've got about 6 laps to go. And Sportelli is closing the gap by about a second a lap. It could be a dog race down to the end. Parsons on the main straight. Sportelli coming onto the main straight. That is the gap right there. This could get very interesting. Parsons, P2. Here's your race leader, Chris Moses. Odds on favor for tonight. Bringing her home. Making somebody a lot of fantasy bucks tonight. Aaron Parsons. P3, John Sportelli.
Parsons just coming off the start-finish straight, and Sportelli just going on. Let's jump on board. Let's see what John sees. Heading out onto the straight. That big flick straight. Not much of a look there. He can see him in his XD. He knows he is just up ahead. Nope, just far enough away to keep Sportelli out of his rearview mirror, which is just what Parsons wants. P4, Kevin Savoie run a great race here. Alex White, boy, this guy sure made his way up through the pack. Can't say enough about this kid. He's taken the NAGP by storm. Literally, he's in a Lister storm, how ironic. But he has just come on like gangbusters. This kid can drive. Man, oh man. Weisman, boy, battled with Alex White for quite a while there. I think Lauren is settled in. P7, Brad Maris and Rich Roman. We got a battle going on here. Let's follow this for a lap or so. Jumping on board. Roman on the inside. Maris has the line going down into the start-finish straight. Off on the big flat straight. On board with Rich Roman. Under down Brad Maris. P7. Little slide from the Ferrari up front. Roman on the other side. Inside, Roman on the outside. They're gonna come together, a little bit of a tap. They both hang on. Brad Maris taking the center of the road, taking just about every line away from Rich. Rich on the outside, gonna leave him tight on the inside here, and Maris has got a half spin. Keeps it on. I don't know how he recovered that, but he has let Rich Roman through. Oh, Brad is into the wall and off into the kitty litter. Taking the escape route. Back down onto the straight, but Roman is in and away. Boy, not sure what happened there with Brad, but that was unfortunate. And I think that is the end of the race, folks. We might have missed it. There's your race winner. Sorry about that, folks. Chris Moses, Aaron Parsons, John Sportelli, Alex White, Lauren Heisman. Great battle between those two. Rich Roman, P6, Kevin Savoie, P7, Brad Maris. Great fight at the end there. P8, Juan Monroy in 9th, Solberger in 10th, Marty in 11th, Greg Myers finishing right in 12th, Mark O'Connor in 13th, Curtis Chandler bringing home points 14, Cup Douglas into points of 15, Werner 16, Mascarelli just out of the points of 17, Rally in 18, Carter 19, and John Watson in 20. And it's a crash-up derby fest. Well, sorry folks, sometimes that happens. I get carried away with the action and miss the absolute end of the race. We're going to hang in here for just a second and see if our race winner will join us up here at Broadcast Central. Chris Moses, you out there? Chris Moses, you out there? Well, doesn't look like we've got Chris up here in the booth with us tonight, which is unfortunate. He ran a superb race. I'd sure like to talk to him and see what he did in the pits, but he sure had a strategy going and stuck with it. Stayed out on the track before coming in to make his tire changes, and it worked. There you have it. Chris Moses, your winner tonight. This is NAGP GT1 Racing, live on the internet, broadcast for you, our viewers. We have racing Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Join us at NAGP. For NAGP and all the administrators, my name's Jack Ivey. Good on you, Curtis Chandler, for the race, and Chris for the win tonight. And we will see you. Who have I got with me?
That's Chris.
Chris, great race. What was your strategy there midway through the pit cycle? You stayed out later than others, and it seemed to pay off for you.
Before I say anything, I want to apologize to Andres Pietro. I hope you caught that in the broadcast, because that was one of my worst sim racing moments of all time. He let me by pretty early in the race, which was nice of him, and it kind of caught me off guard, and I went to change my line, and I put a wheel in the dirt and lost it and took him out. My fault, and I apologize for it. As far as the pit strategy goes, the horrendous fuel economy in the Lambo actually paid off with sheer luck here. So I needed to make my pit window. The track was pretty much fully wet, and probably the earliest I could stop was lap 28, and I called for the pitch for 28, and most guys pitted on 26 or 27, and I noticed I started getting some heat back in the tires, so I'm like, yeah, I'll stay one more lap, and then I got a little more heat in the tires, and I unfortunately yelled to Kurt, who's filling in for Al as my teammate tonight. Al's on the IR right now. Unfortunately, I didn't yell quick enough, but I stayed out another lap, lap 30, and it was clear the track was drying out, so I stayed right on slicks, and I think as the other guy did that. So we ended up 1-2, and I just basically coaxed her home from there. But once again, I'm real sorry to Andres, and I think a couple other guys DNF'd. I don't know if it was directly related to that incident or not behind, so sorry to them if that was the case as well.
Well, it was a bit of a pile-up. But, Chris, these things happen out there. They're racing incidents. You top league drivers here, we know you do your best. You're not out there to cause anybody any harm, and I'm sure they know that too. But your strategy was brilliant. It was stunning in your victory, and it sure showed off, and that's why I call you the pit wizard.
It was kind of sheer luck. If I had a good fuel economy car, I probably would have dove in real early and slapped on some wet tires, but if I went in at that time, I would have had to make a second stop no matter what. So I was like, I'll just ride it out for another lap or two and see what happens. And I was losing a ton of time, and then some guys started to lap me and not pull away or unlap themselves from me, and I just lucked out, Jack, totally. But I'll take it.
Well, we noticed that on the broadcast. We saw you were slowing down, but we could see on the broadcast that the track was drying up, so it was visible to us that it was drying up pretty quick, and it just looked like sheer brilliance on your part. But then again, Chris, not many more drivers are as competent at this game as you are, so hats off to you and the other podium finishers, and thanks for having me up here. And for NAGP TV, this is Jack Ivey along with
the Anderstorp winner, Chris Moses. And we'll catch you next week at the races.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much for doing the broadcast. Really appreciate it.
Love doing it. Thanks for having me around. Folks, we'll catch you next Monday. We're racing again. Where are we going next Monday, Chris? Haven't got a clue, but we'll be there. NAGP Racing. Be there.